Yo, welcome back. It's your boy, Jason, the behavioral specialist, and my beautiful wife,
Dr. Io.
Yo, today's episode's about TikTok therapy. So I'm going to start this off with a question. Are we pimping out our mental health to TikTok influencers?
Ooh.
Well, you know, I had to come in hot.
Pimping out. That's right. Okay. How we pimping mental health? What you saying?
Let me start off with this statistic. So there's a staggering 70% of Gen Z and other traditional, millennials and everybody else.
Mind you, you're like a millennial. You the tail end.
2000, so you know it is what it is. But either way, so 70% of these generations are relying on social media for their mental health. Like it's kind of crazy.
Wow. So 70% of people are like going to therapy online? Like, what do you mean relying on it for their mental health? Like they're engaging it or they're like asking people questions? What they doing?
Like I'm having a bad day. I'm going to TikTok to understand how to have a better day. Not these deep down issues that they going to TikTok.
Oh no. I hate that for them. Come on, no.
I've done it. Ain't no cap. I didn't have some Wayne Dryer on like but he's on YouTube though. Is it different because he's on YouTube?
YouTube is a form of social media, so
and it's technically YouTube University.
That's
so
right.
It's like a
YouTube
college.
University.
Not really.
It still ain't the therapy, TikTok therapy or YouTube therapy office. So I think it's a bad idea. I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it. But as a mental health professional, I understand it. Right? You got everything at your fingertips nowadays. You can get like questions there. I mean, ChatGPT, they got stuff that can talk back to you out there. So, I mean, I get it. But the problem is 40% of people, young people, so those Gen Z millennials, get anxious and depressed from being constantly on social media. So it's like the problem can't be your solution.
I mean, honestly, during COVID, like that's all everybody was glued on was social media. So it's kind of like, this is what it is.
That's
and
true.
I mean, is it their fault? Is it our fault that we just we found out we had a tablet? Like, yo, I got a new babysitter. This tablet, we going live right now.
We've only done that a few times.
Only a few.
I mean, but I do think there's pros and cons, right? Like if you're using it to just understand what's going on and then looking at treatment options, that's fine. But if you're like, I'm going to do a dance and like solve my problems from TikTok, that might not work. You might not be getting deep enough.
Right.
You're not like exploring the true issues. So
it's kind of like the wild, wild west of mental health right now on TikTok or on these social medias. So let me throw you this. These are some of the viral stuff that they do. So how to break up with your anxiety in 60 seconds. These are some of 60 seconds.
Okay.
This is
you don't need a therapist. I've ever had.
You don't need a therapist at all. You ain't got to pray or nothing.
You don't got to pray. You don't need a therapist. You can break up with your anxiety in 60 seconds.
In 60 seconds.
Man, I wish we had a clip.
I did it yesterday. I did
You did it yesterday?
and a hop, and I was like, I'm done. Anxiety's gone, and it came back. I mean, like we broke up, and then we got right back together. It didn't even work.
That's right. They didn't say you wasn't gonna get back. They just said you was breaking up. So smart TikTok.
And this is another one. This is another from as well. Okay, so it says, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. This goes into dating and like because people go out like you need to see me for who I am. I gotta see your ratchet self. But you be at the church every Tuesday. You know you ratchet, acting like that. But I need to see you.
Oh, wait a minute now. There's pieces of that I agree with. So like, if I can't be my worst, then I don't want you just like forcing me to be my best all the time. I'm gonna have bad days. I'm gonna be, I'm ratchet sometimes. So like you've seen that. You've seen me at my ratchet worst. And
we've been out on 2 dates and you didn't throw them out like you need to know me.
Days.
This is me. These rollers is in. I'm putting that moo-moo on right now. No. You seen the moo-moo. I had a rough day. It's that time of the.
Okay, I do. Okay, there is a middle ground between showing up as your representative, right? Like I'm not even this person. This is me on my best day. I woke up like this, like, and like wearing the moo-moo. So I agree, you gotta put your best foot forward.
But this is a TikTok challenge though. We're going online. This is a thing.
What do they do?
They're going out there. They're showing these videos and content going bad on people. Like this and the people are supposed to accept them for this ratchet behavior. So you're going viral for this. So is it good? I mean, you might get paid off this viral moment.
I mean, if you're looking at it as entertainment. Now, if it's just entertainment, I mean, I think it's funny. I would love to get out there and be my worst and go viral and then go back to my normal Zen self that I am most of the time.
The sad
right?
thing about
Right,
this,
honey?
it's like people are actually thinking this is how you should actually act. This is the bad thing.
That's not cool. I don't
Like,
think
it's
we should sensationalize and celebrate being your worst. Like, that's supposed to be like a valley, but there should also be peaks.
You know the crazy thing, some people, I mean, I guess this is free therapy, right? Is this free therapy? Like, for some people?
No, it's not free therapy at all. That just goes against everything therapy believes in.
Oh,
Okay, give us one
this
more.
This is my favorite one.
Okay.
Is how to turn your feelings into a TikTok dance.
Okay.
So like I am feeling angry,
Uh-huh.
and that's what you see at the club when somebody is really twerking or throwing it back, or when somebody's doing the Macarena and they really in it. You know what I mean?
I have Macarena, not when I'm mad though. I do want to do a different dance when I'm mad. But I mean, I do think there's something good about channeling your emotions. I mean, we have art therapy, we have music therapy.
Right.
So I don't think, so I actually think as long as all of these are used for entertainment, please just use this as entertainment. It's fine. But if you really think you have an issue with depression or anxiety or relationships, I want you to seek help with a professional to at least assess, right? Like tell someone what's going on. Have that first session, really understand what's going on and see, okay, maybe you do just need music therapy or art or draw your problems. Maybe you do.
But can you see somebody like, you know what I mean, with depression looking back at you, throwing it back like Cardi, like, you know what I mean? Like, take all this depression.
Yes.
All that.
I feel better when I'm throwing it back. I mean, it has helped me, but that's not going to stabilize your whole condition if you do have one. So if you really do have a mental health condition, going and getting information from the social media is amazing, but you really do need a mental health professional to check in with you, see how you're doing, assess your symptoms, and come up with an actual treatment plan that may include throwing it back. I mean, that might be on there.
And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it has some good content on there, but you cannot follow every doctrine that you see on there. I mean, you need to dig a little deep. I mean, somebody might drop a line that's great, that's something you need to hear that day, but you need to follow it. You can't follow every form of the doctrine.
No,
not even.
And some people need true therapy. Engage with the therapist, you meet with them, you have a treatment plan, you're following up, you're seeing how you're doing and really building that resilience and coping skills in real life.
But so when are these people, I mean, are they actually going to the church for some of this? Why are we going to There's nothing wrong with traditional therapists. There's nothing wrong with them. Like, we just stop being afraid. Yes, you do have to pay. I'm sorry, you have to pay.
Or your insurance.
It's okay to pay.
Sometimes there's sliding scales. Don't let the price scare you. There's something for everybody. But I also don't think it's anything wrong with going to the church first if that's your comfort level, right? If you have a pastor you're engaged with, or your church has a mental health counseling division or whatever, like, that's okay too. Your pastor is a spiritual leader that's probably versed in a lot of these things and maybe can, help you figure things out early on. And hopefully if they think you need treatment, they'll refer you to.
And it also says you should first seek God. I mean, are people seeking God? Are they actually meditating, or are they just going straight to the talk? Because I know some people have these talk.
No,
the talkie.
Most people do not meditate.
I love meditation.
You do. Listen.
I was meditating.
There's something for everybody.
I was putting all this out there. This ratchetness.
I'm the meditator that's like, I can't stop my thoughts. Like, I'm still a work in progress on the meditation. But whatever works for you, that's the thing. Like, meditation works for you. You love it. You are energized. You're invigorated. Like, I mean, I'm trying and my hardest, but I just, my thoughts are
So
coming.
the thing is, it's like it's a crazy thing. I had to wake up God was pushing me. I need to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
Like, God, it's 6. Like, I just went to sleep at 12:30, 1 o'clock. Like, I got to wake up at 6.
Or 2 o'clock if we find a good movie.
Every time I woke up at 6, I had an enlightenment. Like, I had the aha moment. And it says, God says, you're supposed to seek wisdom in all that you do. Seek him. And it's like, oh, I've been trying to figure that out for so long. Or something just pops up and something happens. That's what I love about that. And that's why people need to do it. But but
there is a lot of unwise things on TikTok and all social media. I've seen some really silly stuff. So if you're going to be seeking wisdom, have some discretion and discernment. Like, if you seeing and hearing stuff that don't sound wise, don't listen to it. Like, those challenges and stuff, don't be hurting yourself. Some of y'all can't even listen. So let's follow what the Bible says.
I might do it for the gram, though.
Yeah.
They should do it for the gram. I didn't see
Listen.
I done seen one of them ushers on there doing the little TikTok. Yeah, doing a dance.
How does his neck look like it's gonna break?
Right.
But they something too.
She did. She got a bag though from like she did a TikTok. She went viral.
What did she do?
She did the little lean with it, the new one.
I don't
go
on
really,
there.
Listen. I dabble.
You be on there.
I be dabbling.
You be on there.
I dabble a little bit. She hating hard.
Listen, no judgment, but I was just telling someone I don't understand TikTok. It gives me ADD. I don't know. It's not for me.
And I'm not bashing TikTok. I know it's got good stuff on there.
I know. That's why I'm not judging. And I think even when you're going to it for resources and, to find a network of people so you feel like you're not alone, right? Like other people are going through this too, like a support system, like that sort of things. But it just can't take the place of having a spiritual leader to walk you through things, or having a therapist, or really having true assessments and treatment.
So
like
what is
TikTok does not have treatment yet.
What is the church?
Don't be trying to steal my idea, TikTok, and having TikTok treatment and stuff.
What does the church actually think about TikTok? Do you think that they think it's a tool that they should use? Should more churches be on TikTok? Because that's where you got to go where the people are. Like everybody ain't coming to church every weekend.
That's right.
Or during the week, maybe on that revival day. They might be coming for the revival.
What is this, 1922?
I don't know what they call them. But
they do not call them revivals still, do they?
A gathering of...
A gathering? I don't know. What do they call them?
I don't know.
Hit us up in the comments. What do you call when y'all get together? I mean, our church has corporate prayer.
Oh, yeah, we went.
Yeah, they have... Yeah,
we be in the Lord's house. We be in
we don't go to church. Oh, my God,
we've been looking for 9 years.
We just show up when they tell us. We just show up. We don't be knowing the title.
Pastor Mo, I rock with you always.
Shout out.
Trying to take him off, but anyway. So
Shout
back
out to
victory.
But yeah, so I do think that there's just a difference in information and resources and treatment for mental health. But I think influencers, no problem, Charlemagne. I think you're doing great. You're raising awareness and all that. So he's found a perfect kind of lane between, hey, I am not a counselor. I am nobody's whatever, but I've struggled with these issues. I'm going to help y'all, but y'all go get help. And he talks about stigma and all that stuff. I think that's the kind of influencer.
He's definitely done his research, and that's what I like. You know what I mean?
What about your little friends over there? You be scrolling. They all doing research?
Some of them, I don't know. It's hard to... some of them had good stuff to talk about, but you really got to do a deep dive. And the bad part is your ADD with most people is just you scrolling. You ain't even really looking if this is a thing. But honestly, I think more churches need to get on TikTok and have a message to give out, because like I said, you have to go to where the people are if you're going to inform them. So, you have to go through the ratchet to get to the people. You got to speak to us where we at.
Everything on TikTok's not ratchet. Some of it's silly and wild from what I've seen, but it's so much funny stuff. Like, I still have a corporate job, and them corporate memes, they be taking me out. Like, and sometimes they do, like, I'll feel like, is it just me? Is it just, and I'll see it, and I'm like, oh no, we're all like living that corporate life, having the jokes and all that stuff. And it does make me feel better sometimes. So I think there's an element to it.
So without getting that peace part of praying and your mental health and wellness and getting grounded, there is a bad side or a dark side to TikTok. Yeah. Like, there's a large number of people having sleep disorders. Mm-hmm. They're isolating. They don't want to hang out with people anymore. You see this a lot in the Gen Z. Like, we went to a lounge. Remember we went to that lounge? Look, everybody had the AirPods on. It's a group of people sitting together. Nobody was talking.
That's right.
It's like they were listening. They were at the club with the music on, but nobody was dancing.
And it was not a silent party.
Right.
Like, there are silent parties where we're all like listening to the same thing. We're listening to the same music. And I think that's kind of cool too. But no, this was like, they were supposed to be hearing the music in the place, talking to people in the place, and everybody was just on their phones. It was wild. It was kind of sad. I think that's the piece where I think there just has to be boundaries put, and you have to start with yourself. Like, is this healthy for me? Am I using it in a healthy way? Just like anything else, right? Like, alcohol by itself is not bad, but how you use it, right? Like, there's certain things that it's about you, and you have to understand your own personality and your own habits.
And I think kind of some of that goes back into the church. If you can actually take some of those these thoughts, these body shaming and the sleep disorders and the isolation. This is probably why people need to go to church, because it's one thing like we were doing the online situation and it was like we went to church today, but it's something about when you go in there and you get filled up and like you're feeling it, just like it feel like you floating.
No, that's true.
And you need that. You talking with other people, you saying hi that you don't feel like saying hi to, but once you talk to them, so you could be talking to your next business partner or something like that. And it's such good to talk with somebody who's dealing with something that you may be dealing with. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes God brings people to you.
No, I agree. And that awkward, remember, shake hands. I mean, they still our church, and I'm like, are we shaking hands post-COVID? But I do. I'll be like, hey, or just, hey.
Can you get a little spray? Is it shady to do the spray
after? Right after.
Rub? Yes. Like, your hands are dirty.
You got to wait till you sit down. But I do think the church has always had that right. Like, community and bringing people together and understanding isolation is not how humans are made. The human body is made for connection to other humans and to God and to like really like vibe off each other. So I think the church has always made us shake hands and come to these revivals, since we're talking about old school. But they need to catch back up with this social media.
No, I highly agree. Now, there's a huge thing in TikTok that people aren't talking about. It's the addiction. People are truly addicted to this. I knew a few people that like they could never put their phone down. We'd be in a whole conversation. They'd be talking about their conversation. They acting stuff out. It's like, what is happening here? Yeah. Like you are living a whole nother virtual life in this situation. Like you done made friends. You damn near done made an avatar.
You're a different person online. You have a whole life online.
How can you help somebody who has a TikTok addiction? Like, where does that start? It's like, am I just supposed to know I have a TikTok addiction, or does somebody tell me? Or
that's right. Well, first, I think if you are not aware enough to know, like you're building out this other life, you're not living in your present state world, like you're absorbed online, like you might need an intervention. Like we've told some friends, like, hey, that you might need to back off social media. Every time I see you on the phone, we can't even have a conversation. Like, people, your loved ones, don't be afraid to step up and tell people in your lives the truth. Were you making fun of me?
I had a moment, like I was thinking, like, we was in a conversation with one of our friends and they were kind of, they had a little TikTok issue. They were doing it too much.
But we did that.
But they were doing
like,
the dance. They just started doing the dance.
Now, the dances are good.
Out of nowhere, though. But nobody knew the dances. Nobody understood.
I don't know when they're TikTok
there
dance.
like that.
Now, if anyone's dancing, I just assume it's
like, it's throw your back. What's the big back?
Oh, big back.
Why is that a thing? Like, everybody
don't be on there. I just know. I just keep up so I don't sound crazy. But you have to, like, if you can't take your own accountability, your loved ones need to help you. And then you really need to figure out, like, what is so obsessive about the internet? Like, what are you trying to fill? Because that means like there's something going on. You can self-medicate with coffee, right? You can self-medicate with drugs,
true.
Sex. Like TikTok is just another symptom of a problem that's going on that you're trying to fill. So I think that's the first thing, being insightful that either there's something going on in your life that you're trying to fill with that, or
you could be running from your significant other.
Yeah, you can.
Might be. Like,
I've definitely run from you. I've run from you and them kids. Oh my God. I'd be like, can I just go to the bathroom? Going in this closet. I'm sick of y'all.
You could.
Real life, real talk.
People have relationships on TikTok. Like you could dang near be cheating on your spouse directly on social media.
That's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother episode.
But it's a true thing. But do you realize that she's doing that? You giving all this attention and energy to this other person.
Well, and people. But again, that's the middle ground between finding resources and a community and a support system. Like when we first started our second business, third business, like having those influencers in that unit, in that community, like in those events we were finding out about, like there was nothing like it. Like, and especially post-COVID when we weren't really back as a society. So I think anything addictive is about knowing yourself and having your own support system and realizing like I need to draw a line or a boundary and get some help.
These are some things that, people who, this is to let you know that you might be having a TikTok addiction.
Oh, good. I like that.
Broken friendships, people, you think people are jealous of you. Ain't nobody jealous of you. They actually want to connect. They might be jealous of the TikTok. They might be a little jealous.
They might be jealous of you, but they're not jealous of your relationship with TikTok. No, unless you're like a really big influencer.
True. That's
maybe you getting free stuff. TikTok, if I get I will come on your platform if you start giving me stuff.
But I feel like you actually do gotta cut it off.
Yeah,
I mean, there should be a work-life balance. If this is your job, you still have to cut it off.
Yeah,
24 hours on there.
That's true. Okay, what else? What is another symptom?
Neglecting relationships like family.
In real life. IRL relationships, not your TikTok friends in the box or going live and all that.
Right.
Your in-person friends and family.
Academic downfall. Like, your grades, you straight A's. You didn't went to TikTok and just found life. You didn't found a whole new life on there.
And
you got a girlfriend on there.
Your grades are bad. Okay, academic failure. Love it. Okay. I mean, I don't love you having an academic failure, but I love the idea of thinking about that as a symptom.
Another thing is you can have a viral mistake on there. That's another thing. I mean, you could, thinking you on there too much and then said something and you didn't cause yourself some depression because the whole group has you got to get off TikTok because everybody's on you now. Or you got to create a whole nother page just because you
cancel culture.
Embarrass you. Oh, right. That's the thing. Cancel culture.
That's right. You could get canceled. That's right. But I think
that's that repent.
That can happen.
You got to go repent after that. You got to go pray. That's when you go to the. That's when
better
you
pray to get your persona back.
You see him back in church then.
Especially if that's your moneymaker. Okay, what's a couple more symptoms?
A few more symptoms. Maybe a rift in the family.
Yeah, like your family not. Yeah, and I know anxiety and depression are sky high in persons that have a high online usage. They are directly connected. They've been doing the studies, like they're getting sued. The social media platforms are actually getting sued for the mental health crisis because of the part it's playing, and they're not able to take accountability. Well, they can take accountability, but they're not.
I don't know. I mean, this is up to a person to kind of, you got to know when to eject. You got to know when to get out. You have to be like, you can't
no, that was like when they were putting all that addictive stuff in cigarettes and not telling nobody. And come on now. They know how the body and the brain work. They over there putting that algorithm to trap you. Whatever it is, they ain't got me though.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I agree. Like I'm ready to get off right now, right? And then it'd be like a how-to fix. I'm like, how they doing this? It'd be like somebody way in some bootleg country, like trying to put something together. I'd be like, oh, that's how you do that? like I'm all on that.
You be like, oh, they built a whole thing in their backyard, boo. Come check it out. It'd be all sped up.
It'd be some MacGyver type stuff.
That's probably like a month's worth of the work. They done did it in 18 seconds.
I'd be like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try this at the house. I'm definitely going to try that.
Coming home from Home Depot with all kinds of boards. I'm like, no, not the TikTok again. It got you. That's mostly, but that's YouTube. I think you're more of a YouTube person.
But TikTok will get you though, because I will.
Are you on TikTok when I don't?
I don't be on TikTok. Is TikTok cheating? Are you cheating in your relationship on TikTok? Like she told you to get off, you still be getting them.
That's cheating.
Getting back on.
That is, and that's another sign of addiction. Like if people are telling you, So, what do we think is really gonna heal this addictive culture, like that we're all addicted to, whether it be TikTok or fame or trying to be popular, or what's gonna heal or move us towards healing?
I mean, honestly, what I really think we need to do is kind of like don't be afraid of therapists. Therapy is so dope. We go through therapy, like we go like once.
Like you said, go through it. Like
not go through. We go to therapy every few weeks or something like that, and it's so dope. Like you get to pull out stuff that you've had since childhood, or maybe you guys aren't vibing because she's thinking about this or you're stressing about that, and you guys haven't had time to connect. So it just levels the playing field. And next thing you know, after that, I mean, it might be a little shaky, but. I mean, things can just be smooth. You know what I mean?
We have had some rough conversations, but I think that's the thing.
You feel better. You
feel better at the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. You can have a 45-pound weight on your back, not realize you carrying a whole nother person back there, a little person. And I mean, you're going to feel better. So I would say you have to find a therapist that you actually like. Like you gotta kind of date them for a little bit. Or you gotta interview them just like everybody else because they're not all the same. They might not be aligned.
You might. That's a very good point, boo. You might not like your first therapist. You are my boo, my husband. You might not. You might have to date a few therapists. Like your first one, don't let that scare you from going to therapy forever. I know someone. They've been through 3, and that 4th one was the charm. Not 3rd time, sorry, 4th time, and they've been seeing that person for years. So I think if your mental health has to be as important as relationships and all that. You've dated more than 3 people to find that lifelong person. You might have to do that same thing with therapy.
No, that's fact. It's like plenty of fish for therapy. Like you get on there.
No, I hope it's not that bad. I hope you could get a recommendation from somebody. Like after that first 1 or 2, like you might need to say, hey, who do you go to? Do you know someone good? Like seek someone.
Don't go in there with a checklist for the therapist. Don't do that. Like, can you go deep? How deep can you go?
That's okay. I think that's okay. Listen, I used to do marriage counseling, individual. I still do individual, and it's okay. Bring whatever you're going to bring. We could work together. But that therapist might be like, you know what? This is not going to work for me. Here's a list of suggestions. No, I'm just they're not going to break up with you.
Doing behavioral therapy, like sometimes I just didn't line up with some of the clients. One of the kids was wild and he did a 1-finger push-up. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Then he tried to kick out my glass over some orange juice. I'm like, you can't, your parents said you can't have this right now. Yeah. But learning those things, sometimes things just don't line up. And therapy's the same way. So it's good to actually get somebody who you can align with. Or even being in the church, finding somebody who is level-headed that you can actually talk to and really, connect with. Or they might be able to connect you with somebody else. Or you might be able to talk with the pastor. These things are so important because you're talking to people who've been there, understand it, they have the experience, they go through so much and they're able to just pour into you, what you might need. So
that was a great first one, like not being afraid of therapy or just mental health treatment as a whole, maybe medication, maybe, some other form of therapy or some other things you need to do in your life. But also don't be afraid to be honest about what's going on because I think it starts there.
Right.
Talk to people. Talk to, if it's a pastor, a friend, teacher, so any support system, someone you trust, and be honest about it. Because I think sometimes you're holding on to it or you're denying it or you're just trying to work through it or work past it on your own.
I agree.
Don't do it alone.
Definitely don't do that. And another thing is you cannot, dumping on your friends is not therapy. Don't do that. It's so shady. They want to hear you, but they don't want to hear all of that. And another thing, in the church, the church is not your therapy. So let's get that. You can't pray everything away. Faith without works. You got to do the work. You can't just faith this, and act like things are. But dumping on your friend. I mean, people do that all the time. They got that one friend. Everybody got that. You got a friend like that?
I do, and I hey. I don't answer the phone all the time. I don't always answer.
You're that person?
That's right. They know. I've told you. That's okay. Yeah, and I used to have a lot of it because before I actually did it for a job, I was just that kind of person. I would listen to you. I would vent with you. I would be with you. I would roll with you. But I didn't know what I was doing back then. I couldn't help you. You were really just telling me a story. And I was like, sorry. But now I say, you know what? I have concerns or, hey, I don't do therapy on my
And the good thing about guys is the good and the bad, we actually hold most of the stuff in. We carry an 80-pound backpack.
That part. Men, talk to your friends. That's okay. Be open, Men out there, why don't y'all talk about how y'all feel? Talk about how you feel. It's okay. It's not gonna...
I think they should.
You're not going to blow up spontaneously. You're not going to, it doesn't make you weak. You're not going to lose all your muscles.
You do have to be in good company, though. You can't ask everybody everything because they're going to be like, you know what I mean? Sometimes people are a little judgy, just a little bit. And you can't be crying. I mean, guys, I get it. You can't cry.
Why?
You can cry.
You can cry. Not online. Don't cry on social media. Please.
Right.
But with your friend. Yeah, okay. That's why I said it has to be a friend you trust. Men, drop in the comments why you don't share your feelings. What's holding you back from sharing your feelings? It could be to a female friend, too.
What I did when I was super single, we weren't even together.
Well, what is the difference in single and super single?
I don't know, but I threw it out there.
Okay, keep going.
But so for me, I had a lot of female friends, and I was able to share with them things I was going through because they're more sympathetic. And guys let's get in the weight room, let's work it out. Nah, bro, we got to talk. So I did have female friends for that.
You have a lot of female friends, and I was very respectful of that. I have no problem with men having female friends as long as they have boundaries and understand it's a friendship. He my man, but he can be your friend.
Right. And another thing, you cannot cross the line with the therapist. Don't
Definitely
date
not.
your therapist. I've seen.
Don't
this
date
on
your
movies.
therapist. If your
I've
therapist
seen-
is letting you date them, then that's the problem right there. No, your therapist is not
you
going to
make a
date you.
connection. I've seen it on movies. I'm sure you've seen it as a
Okay.
psychiatrist. Like,
Yeah,
you-
I actually like have done quality reviews. But don't let that scare you. That's like 1 out of 1,000,000.
Did you see?
Or maybe 2 or 3.
So there was this thing in Dallas. My cousin works out there. He's an officer out there. One of the guards, she was a counselor. She was dating one of the inmates.
Oh, yeah.
And that went to a whole situation. She was bringing narcotics in.
Listen.
On a counseling session. Like, they were having, you know what I mean? They were,
Yeah.
he was going to the back gate or back, what do they call it? Wherever they do their stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
That
he
ain't
was-
how I
you know,
operate.
She ended up getting fired. You know, it was a whole.
Thank goodness.
And she actually went to jail.
I bet. That is illegal. That is illegal.
Therapists are hot.
Listen, there is a therapist for everyone.
Therapists are
There are support systems, good friends. The point is, please do not try to get your mental health treatment on TikTok. You can go to it for information.
Look, she Jedi'd me. The therapists are hot. Like, birthday
First
month,
off.
and she started doing the therapy. Next thing I know, I'm trying to date her. It's therapy. I went
it
to
was
her
not.
for therapy.
We met online
We did.
dating.
We
We was
did. It
dating.
was
Don't
on
be
the- it was on
trying
the
to
pitch.
tell people
I-
that.
like-
That ain't scared of therapy. That was your first thing. But okay, naked truth moment. Naked truth moment. Do you go to TikTok to try to find healing?
No, I can't do that.
Just
I found the way. I found a different way. But I mean, I definitely think you should go for help. Like, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
To definitely go in there to get just some assistance for the day.
okay.
So, guys, we got to wrap this thing up. I know you're loving it. I'm loving it too, but we got to wrap
Right.
this up.
Gotta
Real
wrap
life,
it up.
real talk. You guys, we will see you next
See you
time.
next time.